From that day on, rain or shine, Willow always waited at my door to go to school with me. Even when she was sick and couldn't attend class, she would still walk me there and pick me up after school. During the 10-minute recess, I followed her everywhere. She'd wave her hand and pretend to be annoyed. "If you keep following me, I won't wait for you tomorrow." But I never stopped. I happily stuck to her side, calling her Sister Willow step after step. One day after school, she wasn't outside my classroom. I searched the places she usually hung around, but she was nowhere. Even the security guard told me to leave, but I waited. Finally, on my way to the bus stop, I saw her chewing bubblegum in a snack shop. She walked toward me, blowing bubbles. "Took you long enough." Then she pulled out a candy from her pocket and handed it to me. Time passed. We grew up together. One summer, I finally hit my growth spurt, caught up to her in height, then towered over her. I noticed her looking at me differently. When I helped her with math, she wasn't looking at the questions. She was smiling at me. On crowded buses, she'd shyly tug on my uniform. After our high school entrance exams, we both got accepted into the city's top school. Her mom joked, "I've watched George grow up, he'd make a fine son-in-law. Willow, how about making it official once you both get into college?" I knew Aunt Lou was teasing, but Willow blushed and ran into my room. The adults noticed, and so did I. My heart pounded as I shouted, "I like Willow. One day I'm going to marry her." Everyone laughed, and I was sure she heard it too. But that special feeling ended in our last year of high school. On the first day of senior year, as the class waited for new textbooks, a boy with a bright and sunny face stood at the door. "This is Makoto, our new transfer student," the homeroom teacher announced. Sunlight hit his face as he smiled and looked around, then he fixed his gaze on me. "I heard from a friend," he said loudly, "that there's a simp in this class. Someone who follows a girl around like a loyal sidekick." Gasps filled the room. I didn't have to look around, everyone's eyes were on me. After entering this top school, I rarely met anyone from my old schools. But rarely didn't mean never. Some who knew about me and Willow would still snicker behind my back. But no one had ever dared say it out loud, until now. "Sorry, Wong," Makoto continued mockingly. "I also heard you're very prideful. Did that upset you?" He raised his eyebrows, eyes filled with provocation. "But seriously, you're a guy. Always following a girl around? Isn't that pathetic? She's not your mom. Or are you, from a special group?" "Makoto, that's enough." Willow slammed her desk and stood up, her chair falling over with a bang. Makoto finally looked away from me and at her, his tone suddenly soft. "Am I wrong, Lou? Honestly, you've been annoyed by his clingy behavior for a while now, haven't you?" Willow pressed her lips together, silently agreeing. The teacher slammed the blackboard 3 times, ordering Makoto to take the seat next to Willow. When I came back with the textbooks, my stomach dropped. The 2 people who were just arguing minutes ago were now standing very close. Makoto met my eyes with a smug smile. After school, Willow left hand in hand with him. I watched them disappear, then pulled a small cake from my drawer and stuffed large bites into my mouth. It was her favorite, not too sweet. Everything that happened played over and over in my mind. From that day, Makoto became the third wheel between us. Things could never go back to how they were. Makoto blended into the class quickly. I didn't know why he and Willow became close so fast. But from that week onward, she no longer needed me to bring her breakfast. "I brought steamed buns, your favorite," I said, placing them on her desk. Willow kept her head down. "Thanks, but take them back. I already ate." Makoto lifted a half-eaten bowl of sticky rice porridge and smirked. "Oh, I didn't know you brought breakfast too." But Willow couldn't even finish this porridge. Something clicked in my mind. "Isn't it better if you stop bringing breakfast?" Makoto added. "Focus on your studies, not trivial things." I stared at him, stunned. "Makoto's just trying to help," Willow said. "Don't be so petty." Her words felt like a punch to my chest. "Fine. I'm the petty one. It's all my fault." The classroom fell silent. Makoto mouthed toward me, "She drank this. It's sweet." "George," Willow snapped sharply. I couldn't take it. I grabbed the buns off her desk. "What are you doing?" she yelled. I shot back, "You think I'll back off just because you raise your voice?" She froze. It was the first time I had ever spoken to her like that. She reached for my hand, but I pushed her away. "Don't be mad," she softened. "Give me the buns. Keep bringing breakfast like before." I glanced past her. Makoto was glaring at me with pure jealousy. After that day, Makoto began making things difficult for me. I was like a small boat caught in a sudden storm. I excelled in science but struggled in language arts. Makoto used that to target me. Whenever I answered a question, he muttered, "You don't even know that. What an idiot." His followers laughed. During group discussions, if I shared an idea, he rolled his eyes. "I don't agree." Then they mocked me again. Willow tried to defend me at first. "We're all classmates, stop it." But Makoto twisted everything. "I'm doing it for his own good." And she fell silent, like she agreed. My chest ached every time I saw them laughing together. Half a semester passed. My eyes were swollen from allergies. That became his next weapon. After school, I put on sunglasses to slip out. Makoto pointed and shouted, "Look!" He was crying all day, that's why he's wearing shades. Then he yanked them off. Laughter exploded. "That's enough," I snapped. Makoto shrugged. "Relax. It's just a joke." But I knew, these jokes were meant to hurt. Fury surged through me. I punched Makoto square in the face. He wasn't expecting it and fell, a red mark blooming on his cheek. Humiliated. "You trying to die?" he growled, grabbing a desk to stand. I looked at the powder on my fingers and sneered, "No wonder your skin is thick, you're wearing so much foundation." I turned to leave, but Willow grabbed my wrist. "Apologize," she ordered coldly. "Why should I apologize? You hit him. He was just joking, and you hit him. Apologize. Don't make me hate you." I stared at her, the girl who used to protect me, now defending Makoto. And all I felt was a deep, unfamiliar ache. "I won't," I shouted. The moment the words left my mouth, Willow slapped me across the face. Everyone's eyes snapped toward us. The air in the classroom turned stiff and heavy. I touched my burning cheek, and then I laughed. So childhood bonds really can't compete with a sudden infatuation. I grabbed my backpack, slung it over my shoulder, and walked out of the classroom. Behind me, I heard Willow's worried voice. "Makoto, are you okay? Come on, let's get you to the nurse's office." My face still stung, and a dull heaviness pressed down on my chest. When I rushed out of the school gates, it was pouring rain. I hadn't brought an umbrella, but I didn't care. Head down, I walked through the streets, ignoring the strange looks from passers-by. Soaked to the bone, I finally got home. On the coffee table in the living room sat a framed photo of our two families together. We'd taken it last summer at the amusement park. I went to my room and opened my closet. Every piece of clothing Willow had ever bought me hung neatly inside. I grabbed a cardboard box and started tossing in everything related to her. On my nightstand was the only photo of just the two of us. I ran my fingers over her smiling face in the picture, then tossed it into the box too. After sealing the box with tape, I carried it downstairs and stood in front of the garbage bin. Thud. The box landed at the bottom of the empty bin with a hollow sound. Willow and I could never go back to how we were. A few minutes later, someone knocked on the door. I thought maybe my parents had forgotten their keys. But when I opened it, it was Willow. Her expression was cold. "George." I looked down. She was holding the same cardboard box I'd just thrown away. She pulled out our photo. "Why did you throw this away? And all these? They were gifts from me. Why did you throw them out?" I smiled. "What I do with my stuff, what's it got to do with you?" She stared at me, her eyes settling on the faint red mark still visible on my face. "I didn't even hit you that hard. Why is your face like this?" Her voice suddenly cracked, and she reached out a hand. I turned my head, dodging her touch. She had been the only friend I'd ever had. Whenever I felt wronged, she was the first person I ran to. "I didn't mean to," she said anxiously. "I didn't control my strength." "Enough. That's enough," I cut her off. "From now on, we're just neighbors in the same building." Willow set the box down and grabbed my hand. "Why, George? Is it because I slapped you at school? Don't be such a child. You're a grown man. Can't you stop being so petty?" "Childish. Petty." I let out a cold laugh. "Willow, from this moment on, we're done." Her tears spilled over. "I didn't mean it that way. I was wrong. I'm sorry, okay? I don't need your apology." One by one, I peeled her fingers off my hand. "Don't come bothering me ever again." Her expression shifted, from shock to confusion, and finally to a bitter, mocking smile. "Fine, fine. You said it yourself. Don't come crawling back later." With that, she turned and walked away without looking back. Only when her footsteps faded completely down the stairs did I stand there, dazed, and quietly closed the door. The next day at school, Willow and Makoto were officially a couple. They brought in big bags of candy and dozens of cups of bubble tea, placing one on every classmate's desk. I thought about telling her to focus on her studies instead, but then I remembered, what did any of this have to do with me anymore? Everyone in class silently agreed to keep this open secret from the teachers and help cover for the new couple. It wasn't surprising. When Makoto first transferred in, he quickly got in with a small crowd thanks to his upbeat, extroverted personality. He was sunny and good-looking, especially popular with the girls. "I'm a guy, but if anyone's bullying you, feel free to come to me," he once said. What's wrong with hanging out with girls? Girls are clean, don't smell like sweat, and they're emotionally sharp. They notice the good in people. There are just some people I can't get along with, overly sensitive, bad temper, can't take a joke. He was clearly referring to the classmates he'd made fun of, including me. Because of his jokes, a few students actually disliked him. But Willow, she remained oblivious, and even encouraged me to talk to him more. I refused. Makoto noticed and shrugged toward the girls nearby with exaggerated helplessness. I get it. Shouldn't have said they've got a bad temper. Now I've really pissed them off. Ah well, guess I'll be iced out by another clique again. It's fine, I'm used to it. And just like that, he twisted the whole situation. He was the one who bullied us, but now he made it seem like we were the ones alienating him. When I got home that day, I couldn't hold it in anymore and complained to my parents about how ridiculous he was. "George, we understand," my dad said. "I've met people like him before too. You don't have to worry about him. Just focus on yourself. And it's best not to get too close to that kind of person." Right at that moment, Willow happened to be outside our door. Her face darkened as soon as she overheard. She hated that kind of behavior. "Uncle, Auntie, George, talking behind someone's back is not okay." The three of us laughed awkwardly. Later, I realized, at some point, she and Makoto had already built a close friendship. Makoto was decent at math and sat next to Willow, so he took the initiative to tutor her. She was terrible at the subject. I used to do that. But after one quiz right after he transferred, everything just shifted to him naturally. Makoto also knew about makeup and celebrity gossip, which helped him bond with the girls. A lot of them were Willow's besties, and they quickly grew close to him too. Willow's impression of him changed as well. He went from the guy who randomly mocked people on his first day to a cheerful, helpful classmate. She used to dislike guys who clung too much, but somehow, she warmed up to Makoto in no time. In class, she and Makoto passed secret notes and giggled out loud, ignoring everyone else. After school, she'd hop onto the back of his bicycle, laughing and joking with their little crowd of girls. I used to feel bitter and heartbroken whenever I saw them like that. But I kept convincing myself they were just friends. I thought Willow liked me. Turns out, I was just full of wishful thinking. "We're in a proper relationship," Makoto announced one day with Willow sitting on his lap. Not like some people who hide behind the childhood friend label just to stick to her like glue. Then he added, clearly aiming his words at me. "Also, I know some folks out there don't like me and love running to the teachers to snitch. But I'd appreciate it if certain classmates wouldn't report our relationship. Makes them look jealous." I stared at him, expressionless. Some classmates smiled and offered their blessings. Others peeked at me for a reaction. Everyone in class knew I'd grown up with Willow. Everyone knew I liked her. Even at school, other girls had tried giving me love letters. I threw every single one away. There was only one girl by my side, Willow. And originally, I was the only boy by hers. My deskmate glanced at me nervously. I didn't even lift my head, just kept solving problems. The mood was tense. Makoto snorted and finally looked away. After that, Willow and Makoto grew even closer. Willow took off her hair tie and slipped it onto Makoto's wrist, telling him playfully never to take it off. During class, they passed notes under the desk, and sometimes Willow would laugh out loud like no one else existed. At lunch, Makoto always got an extra helping of her favorite dish. After school, Willow sat on the back of his bicycle, arms wrapped tightly around his waist. 10 years had passed between us, so at first I felt uncomfortable. But eventually, I got used to it. Just when I thought we'd never have anything to do with each other again, Willow stopped me at the school gate one day after class. "George." Her voice was low, her expression complicated, somewhere between angry and happy. I couldn't tell which. "Makoto called in sick today," she said, looking at me. I didn't immediately understand what that had to do with me. "So what?" Willow got straight to the point. "Did you hit him again?" I froze, then let out a cold laugh. "Me? Hit him? I don't even want to breathe the same air as him, and you think I'd lay a finger on him?" I wasn't the type to start fights. Especially not with someone like Makoto. I couldn't even stand to look at him. As far as I was concerned, the fact that he left me alone was already a blessing. Why would I go out of my way to mess with him? But Willow's eyes were full of suspicion. She interrogated me. "Last night he walked me home and said he'd pick me up this morning, but he never showed. I almost got marked late. I rushed to school, asked around, and found out from the teacher that he called in sick, said someone beat him up. Tell me the truth. Was it you?" "You're insane." I didn't want to argue anymore. I tried to push past her and leave, but she yanked my wrist hard, staring at me like a predator watching its prey. "George, I know you're upset that we're dating, but this is too much. Have you forgotten? You're the one who said we should act like strangers. Even if you're jealous, that's no excuse." She stopped mid-sentence, hesitated, then added softly, "If you just apologize, we can pretend none of this ever happened. We can go back to how things were." Her tone was urgent, like she couldn't wait for my answer. I'd had enough. "Are you serious? It's broad daylight and you're dreaming already. Let go of me. Apologize. I told you, I didn't do anything. You two want to date? Be my guest. Have 10 kids right now for all I care. Go get married and live happily ever after. Just leave me out of it." Willow's face turned pale, stunned, but her grip didn't loosen. Just as I was about to shake free, a hand gently touched Willow's arm. "Hey, is this how you treat your classmates?" I turned toward the voice. It was a girl in a dress, about our age. Anna. Her name slipped out of my mouth. Anna was one of our school's top graduates from a year above us. I remembered her because she used to be the crush of countless guys. What was she doing here? Seeing the confusion on my face, Anna glanced at me and winked mischievously. Then, without hesitation, she slid her arm into mine. Willow's expression soured instantly. Taking the chance, I yanked my hand free from Willow's grip and ran off, pulling Anna with me, without looking back. It was Wednesday during PE class. I wasn't feeling well, but I didn't think much of it. When the teacher blew the whistle, I lined up and ran laps with the boys. The boys and girls ran separately. The girls were already done and waiting nearby. Halfway through the run, my vision suddenly went black. My limbs turned weak and numb. Only then did I realize I was having a hypoglycemia attack. But it was too late. My foot stumbled, and I collapsed awkwardly to my knees on the track. Gasps erupted all around me. Suddenly, I heard fast-approaching footsteps, and a slender hand wrapped around my arm, helping me up. It was Willow. "Your blood sugar dropped again. Did you skip breakfast?" she scolded, her voice tight with worry. "You're in no shape to run. Can you please take some responsibility for your body? Are you hurt? I'll take you to the nurse." She kept nagging right beside my ear. I was already irritated from falling, and everyone staring at me only made it worse. I yanked my arm back hard, trying to pull away. "Don't touch me. I can walk on my own." She growled back, "Is this really the time to throw a tantrum? Can you just care about your own health for once? I'll just take you to the nurse's office and then I'm leaving. Is that okay with you?" I let out a bitter laugh. "You don't get it, do you? Is low blood sugar some kind of fatal illness? Sitting down for a few minutes will fix it. Am I dying? Do you really need to drag me to the nurse?" Willow clenched her jaw. After a moment, she hissed through her teeth, "Why do you have to be so ungrateful?" I looked at her calmly. "If that's what you want to believe, then go ahead." She flung my arm away and stormed off without looking back. There weren't many people in the nurse's office. Just one girl sitting on a cot. It was Anna, again. Why was she still on campus? Didn't she already graduate and go to college? She spotted me and lit up with a bright smile. "Hey Wang! What a coincidence. You're at the nurse's office too." I nodded weakly. Then I noticed Anna was actually injured. Not like my minor issue. Hers was serious. Her knee was wrapped in thick gauze with blood seeping through. The white bandage had turned completely red. She followed my gaze, looked down at her leg, and scratched her head awkwardly. "Oh, this. Ugh. There was this uneven spot on the court I didn't see. Took a fall while playing ball. Nothing major, just a scrape. What about you? Are you okay?" I remembered hearing that Anna used to be the captain of the girls' volleyball team. Pretty well known across the city. That must be why she came back, probably invited to help coach the new players. The bloody gauze made my skin crawl, but I was surprised by how tough she was. She didn't seem fragile at all, quite the opposite. My attitude toward her softened without me realizing. "I'm fine. Just low blood sugar. You should rest." Anna nodded firmly, her smile radiant, completely unfazed by her injury. Because of her condition, she stayed in the nurse's office for a long time. Over time, we got more familiar. Anna was naturally friendly, warm, and easy to talk to, good at making people feel comfortable. One day, while sitting on the cot, she looked at me a little shyly. "Wang, I think our friendship could maybe move a step forward. What do you think?" I was stunned and waved my hands immediately. "I'm about to take the college entrance exams. I'm not thinking about anything else right now." But Anna didn't give up. A week later, she could walk again. Every day during long break, she came to find me. Sometimes she brought candy, sometimes my favorite milk. Whenever she showed up, she'd stick close to my seat and chatter non-stop. The boys around me would jump up and give her their chairs enthusiastically. Slowly, the rumor spread that the famous graduate Anna was dating a senior. Everyone thought we were together. I denied it, but everyone just gave me that, "Sure, we get it" look, like, if you don't want to admit it, fine, everyone knows anyway. The guy behind me leaned over, full of gossip. "Hey George, let me ask you, does Anna really have abs?" I blinked. How would I know that? Still, I answered honestly, "I don't know." "Come on, man. Don't keep it from us right now. We're just curious. You know how many guys chased her for 3 years? She never said yes to any of them. George, spill it, come on." Even my desk mate nudged me with his elbow. A senior girl who graduated with her said she's got abs. And you're her only boyfriend. You must have seen them, right? Come on, were they hot? What do they feel like? I thought for a second. Did she have abs? If I really dug into my memory, maybe I had seen them. I fell into deep thought and mumbled, "Maybe, yeah. Even though she's thin, she's really athletic." Bro. How far did you two go already?" The guy behind me shouted before I could finish. "Hey. Shut up." I quickly covered his mouth. "I just saw it a few times, okay? Don't make it sound like we did anything." Just then, a sharp crash rang through the classroom. We all turned. It was Willow. Her cup had slipped and shattered on the floor. Her face was pale, like it took her a moment to realize what happened. She slowly crouched down to pick up the shards. As she gathered the pieces, Makoto suddenly shouted, "Willow! Your hand!" I looked over. Her finger had been cut. Bright red blood dripped down her hand. She stared at her fingers, expression distant, lost. "I've got tissues, Willow. Come here, I'll help wrap it," Makoto said, reaching for her hand. But Willow yanked it away. Then, in front of everyone, she walked straight toward me. The cut was deep, but she didn't seem to feel the pain. Blood left a dotted trail as she stopped in front of me. She looked at me softly. "I got hurt. George, can I have a Band-Aid?" I looked at her quietly. She knew I always carried Band-Aids. Because of her. When we were kids, Willow was wild, climbing trees, picking fruit, catching crayfish. She was always getting cuts or twisting her ankles. In middle school, a girl who liked me got angry when I rejected her. She sent her older brother to block me in an alley. Willow charged in with a 2-meter stick and beat them so badly no one ever dared to bother me again. Another time, the same girl got her friends to tail Willow. They pushed her down a hallway with full-length glass windows. Willow wasn't expecting it. She crashed through the glass and rolled onto the ground covered in shards. Thankfully, it was the first floor. She wasn't seriously hurt, but both arms were covered in thin, bloody cuts. When I found her, her uniform was soaked red. She was in so much pain her face twisted up, but she still gritted her teeth and said she was fine. I cried so hard I couldn't see clearly. But all I could do was stand there, helpless, watching the blood soak through her sleeves. From that day on, I always carried band-aids. Ever since then, no matter who bullied me, I handled it myself. I never told Willow anything again. I was afraid she might get hurt because of me. She was a girl too. I couldn't rely on her forever. But the habit stuck. Willow once teased me for overreacting, but I saw the smile in her eyes. She enjoyed it. Until Makoto transferred in. One day he saw a Hello Kitty bandage fall from my bag. He told Willow, "You're already a grown man and you're using Hello Kitty bandages? What kind of guy likes stuff only girls are into?" Willow just smiled and nodded. I snapped out of the memory and looked at Willow, gently shaking my head. "I'm not a doctor. If you're hurt, go to the nurse. You hurt your hand, not your leg. I don't need to carry you. Besides, isn't there someone else now?" Willow didn't look surprised. The color drained from her face. She let out a soft, self-mocking laugh. "Got it." Her gaze dimmed instantly. After school, Makoto cornered me behind the classroom. "We need to talk." He wasn't smiling. His face was dead serious. I was getting annoyed. Why did they keep coming to me? They were in a relationship. I wasn't bothering anyone. So why was one confronting me today, another talking tomorrow? Makoto stared at me intensely. "I really don't get it. You're just a nerd who only knows how to study. Why does she care about you so much?" I almost laughed. "Cut the indirect talk. If you've got something to say, say it." His face darkened, eyes filled with frustration. "You must be pretty pleased with yourself, huh? Willow might be with me now, but her heart's still with you. She saw you with another girl and went nuts. She hasn't talked to me for days." He shook his head. "I really don't get it. What's so great about a clueless guy like you? She slapped you once out of emotion and you cut her off for that? You're mad just because she embarrassed you, right? So because your fragile pride got hurt, you're throwing away a lifelong friendship. You're honestly the perfect example of selfish and petty." I listened quietly until he finished. "You don't need to test me. I'm not going to make up with her." He stiffened. I chuckled. "Being sent by your girlfriend to test another guy's feelings, that's got to be awkward, huh? But don't worry. I'll treat her like a stranger from now on. I'm George. I don't take back what I throw away. Tell Willow the same thing I've always said. Stay the hell away from me." Makoto's expression twisted. Guilt, humiliation, confusion. As I walked away, I heard him call behind me, "George, just because of that one slap? Just for that?" "Yes, just for that." I answered again, same reply. That night, I received a call from an unknown number. Without thinking, I answered. "George." It was Willow. She probably got a new SIM card. "Are you done yet?" I asked, ready to hang up. "Wait. Please, just listen to me," Willow said quickly. I fell silent. I read that diary," she whispered, her voice hoarse. My mind went blank. She must be talking about the diary I wrote. The only diary I ever had, the one Willow gave me when I turned 10. I treasured it. It made me start journaling. I wrote for years. Every little moment with Willow. Every second I liked her. I even fantasized that one day, when we got married, I'd give her that diary as my confession. Her voice trembled. "I'm sorry, George. I read your diary. I never knew you liked me that much. I'm sorry for ignoring your feelings all this time. Honestly, I regretted slapping you the moment I did it." George, all these years, I never just saw you as a little brother. Willow, I interrupted. I know you picked the diary up. But after all these days, you're just now reading it. The line went silent. I chuckled softly. You never asked me about any of this before, did you? Because you never cared in the first place, right? Her voice was weak, colorless. But now that people are saying I'm dating someone, you feel threatened. You feel like your place is in danger. So today, on some impulsive whim months later, you dug out that dusty old diary, didn't you, George? That's not it. I didn't let her finish. Calmly, I said, Willow, you should know, late apologies and confessions can't fix the past. What you're doing now just makes you look cheap. That diary, it means nothing anymore. You might as well throw it away. Don't call me again. Don't look for me. You're really annoying. I hung up. My birthday was just a week away. My parents had planned a party and told me to invite classmates. At first, I didn't want to invite Willow or the others, but seeing how they'd been acting lately, I decided to treat everyone the same and handed out the invitations. Anna shamelessly asked for one too. On the day of the party, I dressed up. Willow showed up too, her makeup flawless, and Makoto holding her hand, dressed in a white suit. When he saw me, he quickly let go of her hand and wrapped his arm tightly around hers, sticking to her like glue. Willow's face remained expressionless. I didn't greet them, walking straight toward the adults instead. The party was cheerful but exhausting. At one point, I stepped out onto the terrace to catch some air. Then I heard footsteps behind me. Even if I didn't want to admit it, I recognized them instantly. We'd known each other too long. She stood there, her voice hoarse. Can we talk, George? I turned and saw her eyes, red and puffy. Of course, I said expressionlessly, but if possible, let this be the last time. Her face turned pale, and she gave a bitter laugh. Does it really have to be like this between us, George? No matter what I say, you won't forgive me, will you? I looked away. I really don't understand. Didn't you always like me? You know it. I like you too. We were just one step away from confessing to each other. Why are you treating me like this? She said it out loud, for the first time admitting she liked me too. But it came under circumstances like this. All because of that one slap. I nodded without hesitation. Yes, because of that one slap. I heard it that day. Willow didn't slap me just because she lost control of her emotions. The day before, on the way home from school, I saw Makoto giving Willow a ride. Halfway through, they suddenly turned off the road that led to our neighborhood. I felt uneasy and followed them. Willow and a few friends had taken Makoto into a hot pot restaurant. While eating, they chatted away. He's been by your side since elementary school. Basically childhood sweethearts. So does he like you or not? Of course he does. In class, he only talks to Willow, not any other girl. 9 years of chasing her. You still don't say yes. Don't like him. My heart tensed. Willow laughed lightly. I mean, I do like him, but I'm not really interested in dating. He's too dull. Boring. A wave of commotion followed. Girl, aren't you afraid he'll stop liking you if you keep stringing him along like this? No way. Guys like that, once they fall for someone, they cling for dear life. You can't shake them off. Makoto grinned, chiming in. Exactly. I get it. Once he likes something, he never stops, always looking for someone to lean on. No matter how you treat him, as long as you show a little kindness, he'll keep liking you forever. Even if she slapped him in public and said sorry later, he'd still be fine with it. I held my breath. In the noisy restaurant, Willow's voice rang out clearly. Sure. Let's try it. Her hands were trembling slightly. That's not it, George, listen to me. I just said that to save face. I didn't mean it. Don't deny it. That's pathetic, Willow. I looked at her softly. Didn't you always say it's awful to talk behind people's backs? Look at yourself. How are you any better? Her face drained of all color. I let out a long sigh. Strangely, though I had been furious and heartbroken before, now I felt nothing. It was like watching someone else's story. I know you like me. But I also know you were swayed. There was a moment you thought Makoto was great, so great you wanted to impress him. That's normal, Willow. You liked me because we grew up together, because I loved you with everything I had. But in the end, we're not a good match. You think I'm good-looking, but you still find me dull. You think I'm passive, unassertive, not like Makoto, confident and presentable. Eventually, you'd be drawn to someone like him. Or even if it wasn't Makoto, it'd be someone else, another charming guy, different from me but equally attractive. But what you shouldn't have done is use me as your stepping stone. I gave a cold laugh. How dare you slap me? Who do you think you are, Willow? Why would you slap me for someone you've only known a few months? Her face went completely blank, drained of hope. Deep down, I had exposed her selfish desire, and she knew it. She had no strength to argue. She stood there in a daze, a single tear sliding down her cheek. George, do you not love me anymore? I never loved you, I said without hesitation. Her lips lost all color. She stared at me, completely lost. I looked straight into her eyes. I used to like you. I liked you for a long time because you always looked out for me as a kid. That affection lived in a beautiful fantasy I built around you. It didn't need your response. It could exist just in me. But not long ago, I let it go. Why? She sounded like she was sleepwalking. Because even now, whenever I see you, my face still stings. I said it without emotion. Willow's face finally drained of all color. Later, Willow broke up with Makoto. I don't know why. Even with college entrance exams only a few months away, Makoto transferred classes a few days later. Willow seemed like a completely different person. She stopped hanging out with old friends and began following me everywhere. She started bringing me breakfast, saving me a spot at lunch, getting my food, walking quietly behind me after school, saying she wanted to go home together. It was like we were back in elementary school. No, she treated me even better than then. When I asked her why, she just shook her head, staring at me with sorrowful, silent eyes. Eventually, she said she just wanted to make it up to me. She wanted to take care of me. Honestly, I couldn't shake her off. No one could talk sense into her. It was exhausting. Around that time, my parents' company planned an overseas assignment to my mom's hometown. We decided that after college entrance exams, our family would move. I didn't tell anyone. One weekend, I sent a few classmates some goodbye messages. Willow was the last to find out. Somehow, she followed me a few times and asked, "After you move, you're not coming back, are you?" I ignored her. In the final days before exams, we were all studying at home. On the day of the exam, someone in Willow's testing room said she had filled her entire answer sheet with my name. Because of that, she failed to get into college and had to consider retaking the exams next year. The day I received my acceptance letter, my parents and I packed to move. Willow chased our car for a long, long time. I sat in the front passenger seat, silently watching the rearview mirror. I saw her running with everything she had, reaching out, crying uncontrollably, face pale as paper. "George, don't go. Please, don't leave. I can't live without you." Makoto stood beside her, trying to hold her up, but she shoved him away. The wind was too strong. It blew away her last desperate cries. In the end, the figure who had been by my side for 10 years, she fell, stood up trembling, and then grew smaller, smaller and smaller, until all that was left was a blurry black dot. And then, gone. Later, I heard bits and pieces about Willow from old